Hello everyone and welcome now to game 3 in the series between GL Snute versus SuperNova. Game 3 in a best of 3s, everything coming down to this one final game. SuperNova taking game 1, GL Snute coming back over the top with some great play. And now, apparently this may be the last game of the day. Nope, apparently it is not. So Empire Zerg asking Ursidon responding, GL Snute versus mTw's SuperNova, both of them being well-mannered in this matchup, as the Overlord already moving out to do a bit of scouting. Now, Zerg players have been able to rejoice recently in just being able to establish up expansions very early and very quickly. Zerg players overall enjoying the fact that Overlords are moving much more quickly, and also Queens are a much more defensive unit. You can't really argue with the importance of Queens in a Zerg matchup now that Zerg are able to help with production, help with defense, and help with creep spread. There's not much the Queen can't do, attacking even air and ground. So heavy Queen play has allowed Zerg players to play a little bit more defensively and try to get to the mid game faster. Now, it's been up to Terran players to try and stop Zerg players from getting into that mid to late game, where we've seen highly effective Infestor Broodlord play shut down much of Terran in terms of tier 3. Battle cruisers, Thors, not very effective, and ever since there's been a change to Ghosts have not been nearly as effective either. Ghost used to be the counter to everything Zerg, with mass Ghosts using mass snipe, and now that is no longer the case, only dealing 25 damage per attack, but still has very strong range on that snipe. Snute currently setting up a hatchery here. It is going to be that same hatchery first build once more. I believe that was a 16 hatchery. Meanwhile, SuperNova setting up his own command center and now getting up a barracks as well. So both of these players setting up production building, a hatchery, a base before going into their any sort of army tech. And this is going to be a curious situation for Snute. What is Snute going to do for his third base? He can easily expand down into here, but that does mean that he will have to protect a lot of this wide open space here. Terran players generally love Shakura's Plateau. There is a lot of drop play, a lot of dead zones where Marines and Marauders can simply be unloaded, and they can't get attacked from air from by ground until they are pretty much straight up inside your base. A lot of Zerg players then try to counter with Mutalisk on this map, but then Terran players can simply come across the middle with siege tanks, Marines, medevacs, and then we turn into that Broodlord composition as we are in the late game. Now, so far, no gas has been established by Snute. We do see that third base being established by Snute in the 4-minute range, which is the standard timing for third base, especially since we did see it from Snute in the last game. So far, Zerglings are now looking around the map, trying to make sure that there are no bunkers in play. Nothing more frustrating than having to deal with a bunker right next to a hatchery. I am a bit surprised that we didn't see any Zerglings come up here to see if there's anything up on the high ground. Sometimes bunkers are established up here to shoot onto the low ground. I'm not sure if a Marauder here can actually attack that hatchery, but then you always want to be safe rather than sorry. Coming back in, we see SuperNova establishing up Hellions and getting up a starport, and this time there's a variation. There is no reactor. We could be seeing a tech lab, no reactor now being established here, and I am curious as what we will be seeing. We could be going into perhaps a double medevac drop or some Hellions being added. This is not the build that SuperNova used in game 1 or game 2, so slightly different here as Snute now comes over and now does see that there is a bunker being placed down. A Queen now trying to make its way over. The Marines may be able to finish off one Overlord, if not two, as Zerglings are now trying to make their way over. We can see a really quick torching there. More units coming down. It looks like that bunker will be shot down here. The Overlord now trying to get away. Will it be able to do so? It looks like it won't be able to do so. One Overlord is now down. This hatchery will be pretty much defended. All of these Marines and Hellions on the wrong side of the field. They are pretty much trapped in. Is it going to be able to push its way out, though, as the Hellion tries to get off a little bit more damage? The Marines trying to make every hit point count, but this will all simply get cleaned up here in just a moment. Now the front door of SuperNova is being established. You can see refineries being placed down as well. It will be 3 gas play as SuperNova establishes a bunker here on the ramp. So it is going to be 3 base for Snute. Snute still not really running heavy on gas. Only 2 gas at this point. Yeah, only 2 gas at this point, apparently against a full 2 gas SuperNova. And now what will be happening next, as I believe SuperNova is going to be playing a little bit defensively with siege tanks as well. So siege tanks, medevacs, no reactor just quite yet. Doesn't really have the gas to support reactor starport production anyways, as we are now going into the mid game. Snute already very careful, setting up a spine crawler and spore crawler in each of the bases, and will be protected against any sort of banshee play. Now there is still a lot of wide dead zone here, which means that a drop could be coming in. Viking now on the hunt for overlords, and will they find them, as this one Viking may actually catch. No, is not going to be able to catch them unless he actually deviates from his flight path just a little bit. No, he does not, and because he does not, won't be able to get these free overlords here. There are some overlords down over here which he will be able to capitalize on pretty easily, and that's normally what you want to do. If anytime you can send out units for free kills, such as hunting for overlords, that is always a good play. All right, the overlord now trying to fly away, already down to 62 hit points. Will it be able to get transfused is the question, and no, I do not believe so, as SuperNova still continuing that flight path. Meanwhile, down here, siege tanks are in position, and the Marines doing a beautiful shutdown of some overlords here. The siege tanks now need to get up onto the high ground as the Marines are trying to position themselves once more. Zerglings getting splashed down very quickly. Spine crawler already getting attacked as well, as the banelings and the Marines, oh, beautifully done. And what is going to be happening next is the Marines are now getting dropped down onto the low ground. One spine crawler simply too far away to really do anything at all. Okay, in comes another SCV trying to establish up a new bunker here. This spine crawler will get destroyed, and this really small tactical drop just putting down a lot of early pressure as the Zerglings now try to make their way in again. The medevac needs to pick up those Marines, able to pick up 7 of them, and is it going to be enough, as the siege tanks now are able to see up onto the high ground. The Queens now going after the siege tanks. Marines are jumping inside, and what's going to be happening here? One siege tank already down, a second siege tank is still operational, as the medevac still supporting up onto the high ground. And this is a beautiful tactical play from SuperNova still, as there is still one siege tank here. Is it going to be enough? The banelings a little bit too low on the ground, and now with no more sight up on the high ground, he doesn't need to attack here. It looks like the siege tank with 16 kills will finally get shut down. And there you go, the bunker, the Marines inside the bunker unable. Oh, is it going to get another shot off there? Yes, another queen getting destroyed. And now you see down to 1 queen here. Orbital command has been established during this time, but so have another 2 hatcheries here by Snute. Snute also staying on top of his creep tumor spread after that very tactical engagement. So far, the losses for Snute still slightly higher, but his income, I believe, has been higher throughout the matchup as well. Marines and Zerglings doing a little bit of exchange here, and Snute playing beautifully so far. We'll see if SuperNova will be able to come back over the top with a very strong tactical hit once more. Marines now up on the high ground. Siege tanks looking to siege up again, and now there is a queen as well. The spine crawler or the spore crawler needs to get destroyed, as if you don't first succeed, try again. And that does seem to be the case. One spore crawler now going to take a lot of damage. Zerglings now trying to push their way in. The spore crawler trying to get in position to deny sight up onto the high ground from those medevacs, as the Zerglings are still having a little bit of a fun time getting off some free hits there, only to get shelled by siege tanks once more. Production tab, armory, 1-1 or 2-1 upgrade should be coming in momentarily, as we see SuperNova trying to pull away. No more Marines up on the high ground. One medevac gets sniped down again, and with no sight up onto the high ground, what are we going to see here? Okay, we could see another scanner sweep coming in here in just a moment. Oh, all those queens need to back off. Another queen does get shelled down, and also another creep tumor there. So the extractor. Is it going to get destroyed? Yes, destroyed before it's even up. So this is just a constant annoyance. Snute needs to figure out what exactly he wants to do here. One spine crawler could be all that he really needs if he was actually able to move over a unit there. Medevacs now trying to reinforce over here at the center location. One bunker has been taken down, but not a good trade by Snute. Snute does have a lot more bases, as we now see another drop happening here. So it is heavy drop play here on Shakura's Plateau. The Queens and Mutalisk are now trying to engage, taking down the Medevac. No, not the Medevac, as the Queens are now coming around. And it looks like some transfusions and some injects also coming in. Another Mutalisk getting taken down here. But the hatching just at the right time as more Mutalisks are coming back over. The Medevac does get destroyed. No sight up onto the high ground here. We are sitting at 153 versus 153. 90 drones, 78 SCVs. The Terran army is slightly larger, but the Zerg army is nothing too shabby, as it is able to move around a map very quickly. Some Zerglings getting caught in transit once more. Alright, we are at layer here. Drones not really mining from over here either. We see that there's one Viking holding here, as SuperNova now looks to see what his next tactical hit could possibly be. Mutalisk now swarming their way over, gonna shut down this one bunker very quickly. Down it goes. No real reason to try to scanner sweep, as the siege tanks are all gonna get destroyed there, and now they are hunting for more Medevacs. The Medevac now off to the north. The Mutalisks are not gonna find it. They're gonna go out into the wrong location, but there's only one missile turret here. And now it looks like the lower hit point units will be pulled away. And not once again another missile turret. No, units are simply just gonna fly in here inside the main, take down another missile turret, and now get in some SCVs. Marines now trying to make their way over. There is a drop now happening in the main as well, so Mutalisks are being forced to pull back. Marines able to catch up, and now one Queen will quickly get destroyed against multiple Marines here, as the Mutalisks again decide not to engage. And once again, another drop here. So really strong drop play by SuperNova, causing problems as Queen after Queen is getting destroyed. It looks like this drop has now been cleaned up, but the damage has been dealt. Total worker kills 13 compared to 7, but that does not tell the game of the amount of pressure that SuperNova has been doing so far. Snute now coming in with a very strong engagement. Baneling sacrificing themselves against siege tanks, but now nothing to deal with those Marines. Marines are good against both Zerglings and Mutalisks there, as the Marines are now trying to come across the center again. Scanner sweeping, taking down a couple free creep tumors. Another double Medevac drop lining in, and it looks like the rest of the Marines need to get the memo to attack. One Spore Crawler able to take down a Medevac there, as another macro hatch has been destroyed, and another building there. Medevacs and Marines gonna engage in a battle here. It looks like the rest of the Marines will get taken down, but they are upgraded 2-1. And so far, a lot of engagement on both sides. The SuperNova now coming in and shutting down another hatchery. So Marines, with their very heavy bio movement play, able to take down multiple bases and just trying to attack wherever the Mutalisks are not. Normally, Mutalisks are able to shut down the Medevacs, but they haven't been able to catch any of the Medevacs while they are doing a drop. Poor Overlord placement. Perhaps an Overlord here and an Overlord here would be enough, but we don't see that just quite yet. SuperNova now looking to establish up his 4th base. Meanwhile, we're up on 4 bases now for Snute, as Snute has gotten shut down. Mutalisks now going to come in across the center or across the back. There are 16 Mutalisks in this group. One missile turret completely taken down there, and now going after some easy buildings. And where are they going to be going next? Oh my gosh, some poor flying by those Mutalisks mean a whole bunch of dead Mutalisks. I believe 3 were taken down, and that was just some poor micro control from Snute. I still believe taking down this one missile turret and then rushing into taking down these SCVs would have been the better choice. Another drop now happening down over here at the 5 o'clock location, while the main tactical force now going to be coming in here to shut down this hatchery once more. Medevac able to pick that up, but the units are already forcing a cancellation here again. The center 5 o'clock expansion has been canceled, and Snute is going to find himself even on bases very quickly, and that is not a position that Zerg players want to be in. Harvester count 86 compared to 79. A much larger army for Snute, but Snute has yet to go into tier 3 with those Broodlords, and that may be what he's missing. Baneling's now trying to roll on in. Baneling's perhaps going to find a couple of those units there, and now we can see that the Thor able to take down many Mutalisks, but the entire center has been destroyed here. Snute perhaps over-investing in this central attack as we now see more units coming back in, and the siege tank line has been very deep. Siege tanks getting off free kills on multiple Banelings, but now with no more marine support, they're going to get taken down. All right, Mutalisks, where are they going to be going next? They're going to be running straight up inside the base. Zerglings now trying to attack as well. It looks like some of the Mutalisks will get taken down. The Zerglings, without any more support, not going to be able to do much, as another drop happening here, shutting down the mining at the third base. In comes a sea of Zerglings. Are those Zerglings going to be able to hit anything is the question now. Command centers are being lifted off. Siege tanks now unable to get off any true shots there. And now here we go. Siege tank gonna get taken down. Multiple units coming in. More Marines need to be trained up and in a hurry. SuperNova not even bothering to siege up the siege tanks, knowing that they would get destroyed in a matter of seconds. But Snute not doing a good job staying on top of his unit production, and he's not at tier 3. No infestation pit. And that may be the problem. As SuperNova gets stronger and stronger with his army, he's just been able to deal with this attack constantly. And now that SuperNova has a slight army advantage, he may be able to come back over the top. There is one medevac, the medevac trying to fly away. Oh, gonna drop off a couple of quick Marines and perhaps hit up another base here. Infestation pit finally coming in, but is it gonna be too little too late, as the Marines may try to snipe it down? All right, here we go. The medevac now coming in. Zerglings and Banelings. And what is happening here, as there are no Mutalisks to counter off this medevac? All right, we could have a queen come in position. No queen down over here, though. That is going to be a very, very sad day, as another drop happening here. Queens dealing with this drop, but the drop here from essentially a 9 hit point medevac, still doing a lot of damage and now stopping and turn back around. All right, drones getting picked off one at a time. SuperNova now with a 60 supply advantage, coming across the center, establishing up his bases. And this just goes to show you that you don't need to establish up your 4th base that quickly. SuperNova was running up on 3 bases for quite a while. Snute being forced to get up that 4th base, and now we could see a drop up onto the high ground. There were a lot of queens here moments ago. No longer the case, as Overlord's now trying to pull away. 3-2 upgrades, soon to be 3-3 Ventral Sacks. Level 1 weapons attack. Spire now coming in, so it is going to be, I believe, a double Spire build to go into Broodlords. Broodlords are going to be very effective, but how many starports are there? Only 1, and they've been able to train up medevacs pretty continually without having to stop for Vikings. 15 medevacs in the air, 53 Marines, 5 siege tanks. And we're going to see what Snute tries and does next. The entire right side of the map is owned by Snute, but that means that he has no more bases to really mine from. The natural expansion has already been mined out. The 3rd base getting low on resources as well. And this is where Zerg players start to fall apart, especially on Shakura's Plateau. Fungal growth, a beautiful hit there. And another chain fungal growth. I believe many of those Marines will get taken down, yeah. And are we going to see another group of Marines? Yeah, the Zergling's going to try to finish them off. Splash damage here once more. Another drop coming in, but there is a fungal growth there. Another fungal growth coming in. The medevac should be able to escape, though, as there are no anti-air units. There are no queens, no infested Terrans. A good number of infestors. Is it too little too late? Snute still has 12 infestors now, going into Greater Spire, going into Corruptors, and with those Corruptors could have plenty of Broodlords. Zerglings now making their way over, but the Corruptors have been spotted. That could be key. Are we going to start seeing Viking production? Yes, we are. SuperNova one step ahead, knowing that there is now Corruptors in the air, now knowing that he needs to train up some Vikings, as we are now going to be going into the high ground again. Corruptors now trying to absorb some damage. Baneling's going to be able to splash through, and the Corruptors are going to finish off the medevacs. Meanwhile, another large, massive attack coming down here, taking down the 3rd base of Snute. Snute losing base after base. This is not going all too well, as Snute now needs to perhaps back away, or perhaps look to catch some of these medevacs. If he can catch the medevacs, that would be huge, as it would force a lot of the Vikings to stop Viking production for medevac production. We are still sitting on 7 medevacs, though half of the medevacs have been destroyed. Some of the medevacs are in very strange positions, which means that they could get taken out in just a matter of seconds. Broodlords, where are they going? There are still Vikings in the air. SuperNova now running up on 5 bases compared to only 1 mining base for Snute, compared to 2 or 3 mining bases for the Terran. Terran able to expand towards, and now, Snute once again trying to establish some infestors. A beautiful scanner sweep, and that is just brilliant map awareness, knowing that something was awry. And you can see when burrow units are moving, Zerglings dealing with Marines here over here at the 4th base. Another Queen gets taken down. The Marines and the Marauders positioning themselves in a beautiful place, minimizing their surface area, and the Zerglings unable to get there all too quickly. So far, only 1 mining base left. These mineral patches down to the last couple. And what are we going to have here? We're going to have the next strong attack as the Broodlords now try to make their way in. Corruptors engaging. The Queens now trying to make their way in. And what is going to be happening? The Infestors cannot be traded that easily. No fungal growths, though, on any of those Vikings, as the Marines and Marauders, Medevacs, Vikings now pulling back again. All right. Marines now looking to shut down a hatchery here. And yes, Arya now making a guest appearance here on Labor Day. And apparently she is cheering for the Zerg, but I don't know if GL Snute can definitely do this. Drones now getting shelled away by the siege tank. One more shot. There you go. Another drone now taken down. Another drop now coming in on the high ground. And SuperNova has pretty much been unrelenting in attack after attack after attack, hitting multiple bases. This drop has been already spotted, but Snute now down by 65 supply, and now the Marines now trying to come in. The Zerglings going to try to swarm. Are they going to be able to get there? And now picked back up once more. Meanwhile, a drop now happening back up in the main base, and they're able to shoot drones that are trying to do that walk of shame into another base. And now in comes the Broodlords, but Vikings, Infestors, and more Thor is just sitting all over the place. Are the Infestors going to be able to get off the fungal growths? No, and not enough infested Terrans to really shoot down the Vikings. And the Infestors are not going to be enough. There is simply not a critical mass of Broodlords, as the Broodlords get shot down one at a time. Vikings are now in superior numbers. Level 1 weapons upgrade now coming in. We're even going into Terran building armor, as the Marines are now trying to take down the Greater Spire. Once this Greater Spire goes, that is going to be all of the tech. Zerglings, not known for their brilliance, not walking around that Greater Spire. And down goes the Greater Spire. Nope. Yes, there it goes. And a key tech has been lost. Meanwhile, another attack happening at the 3rd, and GL Snute will probably just be tipping his hat, yes, to SuperNova after a brilliant game. So there is the GG. GG coming in from GL Snute. SuperNova taking game 3 with superior multitasking, dropping everywhere, and then critically expanding after the 3rd base, taking up his 4th and 5th. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this best of 3 series.